A girl was walking along a snowy path. The snow crunched under her feet and steam came out of her mouth. She stopped, saying that the weather was very good and it was really beautiful. The trees were covered with snow and everything was glistening. Her name is Yunin. Her nickname is Jay. She's an ordinary 25-year-old college graduate. Suddenly, a squirrel jumped on her shoulder. It reminded her of her dog. Even a slight cold could end badly for that weak pup. Once, she was so frightened when she had to carry him to the hospital that she realized at the entrance that she was wearing only one slipper. But if her dog lived in a place like this all the time, his asthma would disappear, wouldn't it? She looked around and saw a big building in front of her, surprised at how big it was. Did she have to go there? It looked like she wouldn't get there in time. A handsome guy was sitting at the table. The girl served him tea, but her hands were shaking. She dropped it all on the floor. She was very frightened and started bowing and saying that she was accidentally asking for forgiveness. The guy didn't say anything and only silently looked at her with a piercing gaze. An elderly man burst into their room, not realizing what was going on, and asking what was the matter. And afterward, he came up to the young gentleman and said that the guests from the land had asked to see the Duke. This made him angry. He crumpled the invitation, saying he'd made a mistake in showing mercy last time. If this was another cheap trick, there'd be one more hangman. The guard stood in front of the hanged men. The guy asked the girl, "Almost all the self-proclaimed guests are hanging here." Jay had already reached the manor and was trying to catch her breath. She was very tired. The guards noticed her and prepared to fight, asking who she was, but the girl did not answer them and froze in place. Doesn't she understand them? Maybe she doesn't. It's a foreigner. They've never seen similar outfits. She slaps her face. But still, Jay understood them, and she said hello to them. The guy stopped her, telling her to reveal her identity. But the girl said there's no point in that now. Let them first tell her if the Duke of Landgale's estate is here. The guy replied that it was here. Now let her answer who she was, so she had come right after all. Jay exhaled a sigh of relief as she said she came from the land to meet Duke Landgale. The guy replied that after becoming a duke, it took him 8 years to become the ruler of the whole north. She must have heard of the duke's indifference and cruelty. But his mere presence is enough to turn one to terror. He has demon blood in him. However, despite his aloofness, even this duke has strange predilections, such as opening the gates to anyone who introduces himself as a guest of Earth. All she knows is that a visitor to the land has the right attire and appearance. It's been 500 years since the last time there was an Earthling in this world. Is now just a legend, but even though they know the consequences, the lying scum are still trying to get in. It's about those who pretend to be Earthlings. However, the only thing they find here is death. It used to happen once, every 4 or 5 years, and almost everyone was hanged. But the last visitor from Earth came less than a month ago. That's a bit harsh. So the girl they just brought into the waiting room is going to die. Jay had already been escorted indoors, and she was sitting at a large table waiting for the Duke. The Duke got angry, piggybacking Bray to repeat what he had just said. The man replied. He said she introduced herself as Jay from planet Earth, a young girl of short stature. Suddenly, he jumped up from his seat, thinking that he had been waiting for her for so long. Everyone was shocked by the whole behavior, not understanding what happened, but no one could stop him. The girl happened to remember that she had brought a pillow with her. It was Manponge. Bob Manponge Bob was a character her boy adored. His keen gaze was always full of sincere admiration. She became so obsessed with him that she got a kick out of Kay for the money she spent on Manponge Bob merchandise. She wants to see him so badly. Her little boy, but the phone's still working. It's really weird. Even the notifications keep coming. Doesn't think there's Wi-Fi or satellites in this world. Like it's a museum of European medieval culture instead of another world. Kay's department head kept at least one promise. Jay put her headphones on the song and started to sing along. Afterward, she felt like she'd been electrocuted. After all, they will see each other soon after many years. Need to show herself very serious. At that time, Landgal came to the room where Jay was. He was very worried and blushed. She was right behind that door. Then he opened the door and just looked at her. He couldn't say a word, he just froze. Jay asked if he was the Duke of Landgale, but the Duke didn't say a word. Then the girl said she was waiting for an answer to her question, and only then did he answer that it was really him. She smiled, said she had a second question. What was SpongeBob doing in the store when he was filling in for the boss? When he's worried, he's very sweet. What a shy guy he is after all, Lale answered. Just because SpongeBob had a sweet burger. Then her last question is where she last bought him ice cream. At the silver mine market. Then, Jay opened her arms and invited him into her arms, telling him to come to her. Duke was very touched by this. He cried and blushed, hugging the girl, rejoicing that she hadn't abandoned him because she was his Jay. The whole family was in the car with Jay, but suddenly they drove off the road and fell right into a cliff. It was snowing very hard that day, which was the consequence of the accident. Before she met him, every day was a nightmare. Her whole family had been killed in an accident due to the heavy snowfall. And of course, there were no relatives to take care of the orphan. When she was left all alone, she was consumed by guilt and loss. She did something she should never have done, which was to take pills. Then she woke up in the hospital, not knowing where she was, crying, trying to breathe. A guy came into her room, happy that she was finally awake. He said he got worried when she didn't answer his calls. Jay hugged the man, saying her family had had an accident and couldn't stop crying. He comforted her, saying they should go home. He told her to take a break and started to clean the apartment. He was used to doing everything himself, and when his uncle became so economical, he changed his image. It was an uncle, on her mother's side, the distinctive gangster face. She graduated, so she's planning to look for a job. Don't rush into it, or she's already got something in mind. Not really. She's just thinking about getting a job in her field of study. Then does she want him to recommend a good firm? Thinks this place would be a good fit for her. What kind of place? She was met by a guy who introduced himself as Caillou and said he was happy to meet her. He's her boss. She's happy to meet him too. They don't have a separate office, so they will discuss everything on the way. As she already knows, the job is permanent. Be sure to read everything in the manual. Even though it is similar to foster care, there are points that are different from the legal process of adoption. Usually, unmarried, unqualified people cannot take on guardianship. They also cannot say how long she will work as a handler for. When the decision is made to end her work, she will receive a notice, after which she will have 3 days to make all the arrangements and say goodbye. The approximate duration of the mentorship is 3 to 5 years. It's almost the same as raising a child. What you really need to do is to raise them as your own children and not treat them like a job. You have to give the child all your love, and he's smiler than he looks, if she can give him a lifetime of love before he returns to his place. A wounded, torn, and tortured soul will get a chance for a new life. Is young Mr. Lale, from this day forward her ward. He's an angel. What white skin. He's very sweet. He comes from another world, from a place that never existed on Earth, the Empire of Kronos. He understands speech. The girl sat down across from the boy and said her name was Jay. She still remembers clearly the day they first met. Seeing his sweet angel made her feel at ease, and the memories of the hard days began to fade. The mischievous puppy that had given her life meaning. Even if they had to part one day, she would find him and never let him go again. After all, she was healed with him. Then the girl took the boy's hand, asking if they could go home now. His outfit stood out too much. Land Girl only squeezed her hand tighter in agreement. Jay began to change him into the women's outfits, telling him that he was very handsome and very cute, and to try on another outfit. Land Girl wanted to take off the dress, and Jay said she would help him now. Without even knowing it, there are no clothes that wouldn't fit him. She can't believe her eyes. He looks like a very pretty girl. He was flattered by these words and blushed. Suddenly, he started coughing and fell to his knees. Jay ran up to him, asking what was wrong with him, how hot he was. He's got a fever. Let him not worry. His sister will figure something out. He is safe with her, and she will always protect him. The girl laid him on the bed, putting a wet cloth to his forehead to bring down the fever, while she prepared food for him. But after tasting it, it turned out to be very unpalatable. After many hours of pain and suffering, she prepared his food, saying that she knew it was difficult, but that he had to eat to gain energy, and that she would help him. Suddenly, she noticed some wounds on his neck, and remembered the words of Ko, who said that her task is to help the wounded soul to heal these wounds and return to its place where the boy got these wounds. Land Girl came memories of being choked by his own mother. He told her to stop because he was already suffocating, to which he got a slap on the wrist. Let him not dare with his filthy mouth call her mom. Because he is the devil's spawn, how could she give birth to something so disgusting? Landgal is weak, but his intelligence is second to none. He learns much faster than his peers, and what does that have to do with her? She's leaving. But it would be a loss not to give such a brilliant child the opportunity to learn in the outside world. Mom just threw him food on the floor and left. Landgal ate it crying because he was hurt by his mother's attitude. When he woke up, he saw Jay holding his hand and falling asleep next to him on the bed, which touched him very much. When Jay woke up, he realized that he was not on the floor, but on the bed next to Landgirl. He's so beautiful when he's asleep. She tucked him in better and got up to clean up. He scared her a lot, scared her yesterday. He came home and threw up a lot. A very weak body. It's unusual. It's the first time she's cleaned so diligently, it sparkles. It's time to eat. Everything's ready. He's still asleep. Let him rest a little longer. But Landgal opened his eyes abruptly. The girl apologized, saying that she didn't want to wake him up, since he was awake. Maybe they could eat together, to which she received a negative nod. Landgal tried to pronounce her name. Jay got very excited, saying that was correct. Her name is Jay from now on. If she needs anything, let him be sure to call her. He's so cute. She just said that out loud. She'll bring some food soon. Let him wait a while. He shouldn't eat an apple and spoil his appetite. She wondered if Prince Landgale would like to taste one of these red apples. They were picked especially for cute princes like him. Looking at Jay, he remembered his mom asking him when he would finally die. He grabbed his head and fell to his knees, holding his head. A girl got scared and ran up to him asking if he was okay, but the boy pushed her away. She apologized, saying the witch was too scary. And afterwards, she thought of something and brought toys, saying they were SpongeBob and the owner of a doggy goodie store. They came to make friends with Prince Landgirl. A cute doggy or a piece of SpongeBob? Will there be any more objections? Wins SpongeBob, the winner deserves a hug. Let him forgive her for scaring him. From now on, she and SpongeBob will always protect him from harm. Jay taught him words by showing him the dog card and asking him to repeat after her. He did a great job, and she was pleased, saying he was catching on and whether he'd be able to keep him guessing. He did it perfectly. He guessed a frog, a man, and a cat. It's legal. How can you be both handsome and so smart? At this rate, this kid could be sent to the largest and most famous organization for high IQ people. They've been living together for a few weeks now, but he's still not ready to open up to her. She has an idea. She thinks they can take some time off from school and make puppy meatballs. He made a beautiful cutlet. Now they're going to start cooking. The cutlet he made is delicious. Let him try it too. He and really genius Landgale agreed and tried it. He said it was delicious. But besides succeeding in his studies, he should also succeed in loving his loved ones. After that, Jay kissed the boy on the cheek, which made him blush. She said it was his turn. After that, he kissed the girl on the cheek. She hugged him and said she was very proud of him. They had a lot of fun. All those days of going to the store together, riding the bus. She bought him new clothes. They even slept together and cooked together. A few months later, Jay stumbled over a scattered toy set with her foot, screaming in pain, saying she'd asked him to put his toys away and was very angry, doing whatever she wants in her own home, of course. That's how kids are supposed to be. The uncle said they should be out soon. Let him wait a little longer, addressing the guy as Jin. The boy got angry with him, asking how dare he make him wait. Can't he come out faster? It's because of that boy. Jay couldn't stand it and turned to Jin, covering his mouth. The boy didn't realize what she was doing and where she was pulling her hands. It seems their prince has a dirty mouth, needs to be wiped clean. The man said it was dangerous, and to let Jin sit quietly. Jay replied that he was told to sit quietly, but the boy started snapping at her, telling her to sit quietly herself. She turned to her uncle, saying, "It's been a year and he's still acting like that. He spoiled him. Prince Jin of Khan's continent. He's a child from another dimension that her uncle takes care of. He's been stupid from the beginning. He's not adapted to the world. Even his uncle, who has experience in raising children, had a hard time. In the beginning, it was more like training a wild animal. The exact opposite of Landgirl. Her unique angel. After that, when they arrived at the place, they went outside. The sky is very blue today. On days like this, the UV rays are intensified. So let Land Girl put on a hat. Kay came up to them saying, "Here they are." Put down the greeting. The reason they are here is to teach the children about farming and nature. Everyone was happy except Jin. He said it was boring, and Land Girl liked it very much and found it interesting after that. Jay sent him off to change his clothes. Showing him a vegetable, said it was a tomato. Jean sighed in annoyance, saying it took forever to mess around with one tomato. Jay asked how many he had picked himself. 0 pieces, he is also proud of it. Kay walked over to them, telling them to stop fighting and telling them to stop being lazy. "The food is ready. Don't let them come to the table with dirty hands," shouted the uncle. Jay told Land Girl they needed to wash their hands. Jin looked at them unhappily and afterwards splashed water on them. The girl got angry, not realizing who did it. Afterward, she turned to the boy asking, "What if Land Girl got sick because of him? Let him be more careful." Kay noticed this and said that they were fighting again. And after noticing that Jay's shirt was completely soaked, and turned away embarrassed. "Need to be more careful. He and Land Girl need to change their clothes. They are very grateful for the food. If he gets cold, let him tell her right away. He's not cold." She's worried about what happened earlier, but it's okay. There's not much water on him. It won't melt. He wants to go and see Sol right away. She's the one who's pushing him. She dares to repeat her pathetic threats when she looks into his eyes. His pomegranate eyes are so beautiful. She's willing to admire them forever. What fear. What a shameless woman she is. Land Girl fell asleep on Jay's lap afterward. And Jay was always fighting with Jean, while Uncle and Keiyu just watched them and were happy. Keiju and Jay were sitting in the room looking at each other. He asked her, "What is she just thinking about? This is not something they have the right to get involved in. Doesn't she realize? It's between her and Langel, so he has nothing to worry about." She made her point. She can't just ignore what he said, but she can't back down. Land Girl's gonna be taking growth sachets from the Eastern Clinic. It's crazy to spend big millions on something so useless. He's underestimating the problem. He's only gained 5 centimeters in 3 years. He's already shorter than girls his age. And if he gets teased for being as small as a poop bag, would he take responsibility? He's in the midst of transition. You can't let him get complex. Besides, the cost of those bags is minuscule compared to what she usually spends on him. Let him believe her. Other than her reckless spending, things are going very well. He hopes she'll think it over and make the right decision. Thank God Landgal's a good boy. There's something wrong with him. Not at all. She is so proud of him and that he is doing well. Now they're going to go buy food for the party. Landgal is here too. What a good boy. Does he like the buns? She made this one especially for him. He's very grateful to her. It's delicious. Her boy is really the best. It's snowing. He wants to play snowballs. What's wrong with him? If he doesn't want to make a friend. Manponj Bob's friend is ready. He's not scared anymore. Here comes the treat for tea. It looks appetizing. Uncle came with the food in his hands and put it on the table and then gave out a present to Jean. It was pajamas after that. They had a meal. It's been 3 years now. Since Land Girl came into her life, the baby was like a bright star in the darkness of the night, cleared the darkness and her soul with his light. Her little puppy. Suddenly, she got a message on her phone. It was from the notification control assistant. Landgale had 72 hours to go before the end of the day and was asked to arrive at the end of the day at the head of the ward she was assigned to. She knew this moment would come sooner or later, but will she be able to let Landgal go and foster another child? She doesn't want him to go back to that family where his fragile soul was tormented. Even if she is fired, she can't leave Landgale alone. She doesn't want Landgal to go back to where he came from. Is there no other way out of this situation? Does she remember what he told her? When they first met, that on average it lasts 3 to 5 years. But the longest known duration is 20 years. The shortest was less than a year. He told her Landgirl was a wounded soul. That's right, Landgirl is a soul. It's not just some expression. He's talking about a real soul. But how is it? She can't talk to him or touch him. The company they belong to is strictly speaking an interdimensional organization. Their work is a great secret known only to heads of state. And the secrecy is due to the fact that they're doing their work on God's orders. He's talking about the same God. That's right. All dimensions are connected and each is in balance under God's supervision. But because countless lives come and go, from time to time, the dimensional balance gets cracked. All the dimensions are intertwined. If one of them is damaged, the balance is upset everywhere. But God found ways to restore balance in the dimension where the greatest diversity was recognized and created an interdimensional agency coordinated with the government. And that's how the agency they belong to came into being. So Landgale is this crack in the dimension, and God decided to send him to Earth to restore balance. Landgale isn't a crack, but if he disappears from his home dimension, it will cause a rift. He's saying that if this Landgale is just a soul, his body has been in the Kronos Empire all this time. The Landgale family will wield divine power for generations. Though the power is unstable until adulthood, they can live without a soul for years with only a fraction of that power. But when the limit comes, the soul must return to the original body. Otherwise, there is a danger of annihilation, both body and soul. If the soul doesn't return to Landgale, he'll die. His time is running out. What can we do? Is there any way to solve this problem without sending him there? Isn't God omnipotent? She doesn't want to make Landgirl suffer by returning him to a place where his family doesn't even want him. Let her meet this God. She'll talk to him in person and see if there's another way. It's not possible. In fact, there's something else. She doesn't want to send Landgirl to a place where he'll only be hurt because she can't bear it. If he leaves like that, she can't live knowing that. Begging him if he can't meet the God of Dimensions. Let him at least try to find out through someone. She thought Landgall couldn't live without her, but she was wrong. She was the one who couldn't live without him. Jay was very thoughtful when she ate. Landgall noticed this and asked if something was wrong. Maybe she doesn't like rice. The girl smiled and said it was delicious and started eating. If he's doing the dishes, then she'll go and make a bath. Let her go and bathe too. She'll go later. She loves him more than anything in the world. He loves her too more than anything else in the world. She will always love him. Let her remember that. He will always love her too. After that, she got a call. The girl picked up the phone and said she understood. Then she hung up when she saw Landgale come out. She tried to say something. The boy threw himself into her arms and started crying, saying she shouldn't leave him. It's because he didn't eat the carrots. He wouldn't eat junk food from now on. And then he took the carrot and started eating it, telling her to watch. Now he's eating the carrot well. Don't let her leave him. Jay hugged him, saying, he is an angel, he didn't do anything wrong. If Landgirl doesn't come back, his body will be in a lot of pain. So she will go with him too. She will seriously follow him. She will definitely go with him, promises. Jay will always love Landgirl. Landgirl will always love Jay too. Kay said something that seems to be too soon for him. It's a shame it has to be this way. Nevertheless, they promised each other to meet in the future. JK explained that it was so they could see each other again. He had promised to send her to the other world. Jin said he was glad that Landgirl was finally leaving. How nice. He didn't have to look at his annoying face anymore. But instead of fighting, Landgirl just patted Jin on the head, told him to behave and obey. He didn't wash his dirty hands. After that, Keiyu came over to them. Jin noticed the sad moment and left the two of them alone. Jay and Landgirl went into that store again. Auntie said hello to them, saying Landgirl was here again, and gave him his favorite pork bar. But Landgirl was still sad. Then Jay kissed him, saying that she loves him more than anything, and promises that they will meet soon, and everything will be all right. He loves her too. If they are ready, then let them follow him. Let him sit here. The boy started to cry. Jay started to calm him down, telling him not to be afraid. She will definitely come to him. Please let her come to him. Don't worry, she'll be here soon. Suddenly, Jay was torn from Landgirl's embrace and started to pull away. She yelled at him to wait because she hadn't finished talking to him yet. Landgirl didn't realize what was going on and started running towards the girl but fell. She was very worried about him and started yelling for Kay to let her go because Landgirl fell down. What to do if he is in pain? Please let them please open the door sooner. Landgirl is hurt and crying in pain, but no one has done that already. So, as he promised, let him help her into that world. He's chuckling now. He thinks it's funny. He tricked her, promised to send her to God. Otherwise she'll keep screaming, what a girl. He is the God who rules the Landgale dimension. So he can send her there, or what? Or he's a deceiver. Why is he saying this now? She's been praying for nothing. If he is a God, then let him send her there right now. Let her calm down. There's a reason he can't send her there right now. Listening intently. It can't be done now. Though her soul is being pulled by the soul of Land Girl, there are others with the same power who won't let her leave this world. That's why there's no way to travel between dimensions. Those who are pulling her soul the hardest must either be forced to let her go or sever all ties with them so they can forget her. There's only one soul she knows. It's her uncle, the soul that's pulling her hardest. She's finally here. There's something she'd like to tell him. Now he understands. She can't go to the other dimension because of him. Don't let him make such a sad face. Let him forgive her. She's his favorite niece, and he's cherished her very much. Ever since she was born, when he looked at her so carefree and smart, he always thought of her mom. When they were sad, they made the same decisions. He tried to always support her to become a strong girl, so even if she goes there, she will still be a precious niece to him. She is very grateful to him. She didn't know her uncle was so attached to her. It means that all this time someone really needed her. Let him calm down and don't cry. He doesn't understand how you can cry for something like this. Tell him to stop crying and leave quickly. He's serious now. Jin seems to be sad too when the dimension and his magical power will be stronger. He'll make Jay nothing more than a fun thing to throw away. And what's the fun in that? There's less stuff than she expected. Maybe there's more to take. It's impossible she can't even take that. But even that's not enough. It's just the essentials. It's crazy, she doesn't need it. It's a useless doll. Let her give it back. It's hers. That and that useless thing over there. No, it's not. All she has to do is take these things. A compass, dry shampoo, toothbrush. How can she live with only these things? She goes all alone to a horrible place, and he won't even let her take a pillow. She hasn't actually forgotten how he tried to trick her into at least letting him help her fit everything in her bag. At this rate, she's gonna drive him to his grave. Well, he can help with that. He'll borrow this bag, which has special powers. Even though it looks like an ordinary bag, it can hold anything thanks to its magical powers. Let him try to pull something out. Wow, it's balloons. As she sees it, it can hold anything. She's very grateful to him. She can fit anything in there. And she wants to warn you. Langal is a very strong boy. She doesn't think he's worth worrying about. While Langal's soul was healing here, his body changed to a mature state. He subconsciously doesn't realize that he will have to leave this world after healing. The appearance of the soul maintained the same appearance it had when they first met. So that's why Langal remained so small. She didn't even realize it and worried in vain. Thank God, she is really glad that he is all right. Langal, who is there, has already reached full physical growth. It is only thanks to her that he has become so strong and healthy. He has never seen a girl as young and capable as her. He hopes to meet her next time with an even healthier body and a stronger soul. So let him take care of himself. Let him take it easy. He can't just throw it in there. He's got to fold it carefully first. If he can reach her on her cell phone, sure, she wants to keep in touch with him. She never ceases to amaze him. And once she's done that, she's the kind of person who always looks serious. If he doesn't do what she says, she'll curse his hair and it'll fall out and never grow back. That's what she told him. It's a stupid idea anyway. Does the prince really want to test her skills first? Don't blame her. Then let her do the exchange rate calculation correctly so that it's not even 10-1. She's really an amazing girl. Remembering all the times he spent with her, he's never met someone like her before. From now on, don't worry about her. She'll try to keep in touch with him more often. He'll try to keep in touch too. Let her take care of herself and be healthy and happy. May Jin stay strong, behave well, and obey his uncle. Let him not worry about it. If anything goes wrong, let him let you know. He promised he'd be responsible until the day he dies. He's all grown up now. They'll see each other again. She'll go and contact them as soon as she meets Land Girl. She's really gone. Something's wrong, nothing's wrong, everything's fine. It's the clothes that keep her from being attacked. He'll try to get her as close to the castle as possible. If it's just to turn on the navigator, when she meets him, she has to ask a total of only 3 questions. On the way, she can only ask where Duke Landgale is. After that, let her leave at once. The questions she asks Landgale must be understood only by her. To the soul that draws her to her must be handled with the utmost care. But most importantly, when she meets him, the questions and answers must be exchanged quickly. Otherwise, it could lead to trouble. Only 3 questions and 3 answers. She's got it all figured out. And one more thing, her soul must be absolutely pure. People who harbor greed and envy are prisoners of their own greed and make others suffer. His child, who was once pure of soul, once a victim of this cruelty. As much as it torments her soul, he cannot intervene personally. And the moment he decided to save that child, she found him. Let him go with her. They'll go home. She saved this soul through sincere love. She spoke the words he needed most. In gratitude for that, he would do anything to help her. Grateful that she gave love to this child. He's grateful too. He knows he's caused her a lot of trouble lately. He's sorry for not telling her the truth and lying to her about something. It wasn't out of spite. I never thought he'd say something like that. There's probably something else he's kept from her. It's not too late to go there with her. Let her close her eyes. They'll meet again soon. Congratulate them. Wish them love and prosperity. No matter the hardships, vow to love and support each other as spouses. Vows to the bride, that the bride will answer. No, she wouldn't want to be here. Let him not approach. If he comes near, she'll kill him. Let him not touch her. She didn't want her life to turn into this. She didn't. She just wanted to be with him forever. She's so sick. Her baby is beautiful. A maid came up to her to show her the baby, but the girl took the baby and wanted to throw it out the window. A man stopped her and asked her how she treats the only heir. She's crazy. She can leave. She's no longer needed. The only heir and she is no longer needed. He only needed her because of him. He is suffocating. Let her please let him go. It's been months since he's been locked up. How does it feel to be free to fly? He welcomes him. He must be in a lot of pain. He can help his wounded soul heal, since he is of the Landgale bloodline. However, his power alone is not enough. He gives him a chance and sends him to someone who could truly love him. What happened to Landgale? He lost consciousness. It seems to be a hereditary disease passed down in their family. Please let him wake up. First his wife's death, now him. From this day forward, there is no God for him. And even when everyone turns their backs on him, he'll find someone he's sure of. Someone who will love him more than anything. Someone who will teach his soul to love. He will realize everything when he meets this person, and never let him doubt that he is worthy of love. Landgale, who lived 2 years on Earth, woke up in a large castle at the age of 18. He awoke when the divine power that minimized his physical pain became unnecessary. But Landgale was not grateful to God for this, for he had no Jay beside him now. If only he continued to know the warmth of the affection of unwavering love. Life without Jay wouldn't be so meaningless. At least he still had the memories with Jay, and that's the only reason he's still breathing. He loves her more than anything in the world, too. And now he's alone, abandoned by his own mother. The whole world has turned its back on him. Tell him to leave now. Barry came up to him, asking if he was all right. He turned pale. Don't worry about it. He's fine, I guess. There's that ghost again. The Emperor's messenger has arrived. Honorable Duke Landgale, he is concerned that he has yet to marry and have heirs. As Emperor, he must arrange a matchmaking for the Duke, according to the customs of their empire. However, before it's too late, he can still make a choice on his own. Due to the characteristics of the Landgale family, lower status families are recommended for marriage. The only thing that bothers him is being the Empire's protector. Just another pathetic scheme by a despicable emperor. Even so, the need to leave an heir will force him to repeat his father's fate, in which case the aristocrat who marries him will repeat his mother's fate. What a headache. Maybe just kill them all. He's been told he's come to visit from Earth. What's he saying? But he doesn't seem to be feeling well. So he'll send him back. Welcomes him. He's honored to see him. Duke Landgale, defender of the Empire. His name is Antonio, and he's from Earth. Let him raise his head. What a strange outfit. It's not her. It's a unique costume worn only on their lands. He's not as formidable as he thought. And now he symbolizes a bird that wants to fly freely in the sky, free from the bondage of men. Came here like a bird. He was saddened by the fate of this world and came on a secret mission to help him along with the Baron. He should have thought 1,000 times before sending a man to his estate. Have them summon the Black Knights and go to the Baron now. No one must be left alive. And have them wipe out his entire territory. After all, he is the Devil's child, and how can someone like him look for love in others? He had a visitor from Earth named Jay, a young girl of short stature and strange clothes. She didn't leave him. His Jay. She came back to him. He's grown a lot. He's her sweet puppy. She's crying now. She can't believe Jay's here. It's like a dream. She came to him. That means he's here. He's already come of age. That's impossible. How did he grow up so fast? It's weird. It's only been 4 months since they broke up. How old is he? He'll be 27 this year. The last time he saw her was 10 years ago. What's wrong with her? It means that Langel has been waiting for her for 10 years, and she couldn't come to him soon enough. Let him forgive her for making him wait so long. Don't be silly. He survived these 10 years only because of her. Warm and happy memories with her helped him to endure so long, so she has nothing to apologize for. The most important thing is that she will be there for him now. That's right. That's right. And for her, it's only been 4 months. She's been trying to finish everything and get to him as soon as possible. It's okay, she couldn't help it. But then they're the same age. He's too close, isn't he? What a coincidence. You can see such beautiful scenery from here. How did she get here? She came from the mountainside. How long did she have to walk? She thinks it took her about 2 hours. 2 hours. But she could have gotten into trouble. Don't let her go anywhere else alone. It's very dangerous to be alone here. She should try to stay close to him. She doesn't think it's that dangerous, but okay. They're done. This is Barry, the butler who's going to be helping her from now on. Greeting her, nice to meet him. Have him set up a room next to his for Jay. What about dinner? Have them make something for 2. He's grown up so much he looks really cool. It's not like that. It's the first time he's seen the master smile. Does he really like this Earth woman? But this relationship could throw the entire empire into chaos in the future. The castle is huge. It's been around for a long time and there's no end in sight. Now this will be her room. The ceiling's crazy high. There's another bed behind the screen. It's just his room. It's connected to hers so he can see her every day if they're too close. This is where she can store her stuff. It's cold in here, so I suggest you change into warm clothes. These shoes will look great on her, won't they? And if she needs help, she can call the butler with the bell. He's so happy, like he's gonna wag his tail. She's very grateful to him. He seems grown up, but she calls him a puppy. He'll look for something for her to change into. These clothes are too big for her. He's laughing at her now. People here are giants. He'll tell her to go a size smaller. When she's around him, he's ready to laugh nonstop. He wishes the moment would never end. By the way, there's internet here. He remembers Netflix, the streaming site where they used to watch Man Bob. But they didn't get to watch all of them, because Kay's monthly payment was interrupted. But now they can watch as much as they want. That's great. She promised to text her uncle as soon as she met him. He wants to try sending that text message. No, it's not. It's probably spelled differently. That's all you can send. Good boy, I think the reply came. How quick. He is glad to hear he is okay, and Jay was able to keep her promise. Let him take care of her. If he's with her, he has nothing to worry about. Just remember to keep in touch with them. It's the first time he's ever seen his uncle smile. Amazing, isn't it? What had long ago lost its meaning is now full of flavor, and what had no smell is now fragrant like roses. Thanks to Jay being by his side. They ate so well. He ate too, brought them something to drink. What's she looking for? It's heavier than she thought. She heard there were no apples growing here, so she made it especially for him. She wants them to drink together. How she was able to make so much. All thanks to Uncle and Jin's help. Did he really help her? 3 months ago. Let her do it herself. Why should he do that kind of work? He volunteered to help them, instead of buying a juicer. But why didn't she say she was going to do so much? He's not going to, doing such a dirty job. It doesn't make any sense at all. He just kicked a box for Land Girl. It's a pure accident. Still, he couldn't get away with it. He did such a good job. Then I'm grateful to him. She'll pass it on. It's like he's back in the day. He wants Jay to always be there for him, like he is now. It's time to start the meeting. Don't let him go anywhere while he's gone. She understood him well. Why Land Girl is so afraid for her. She thinks it has something to do with where he's going. It has to do with where he was going in such a hurry. This morning, a visitor from Earth knocked on the door of Landgale's duchy. She has no status because she is not of this world, but let them mean that she is the most noble of all in the Empire, regardless of origin. Let them treat her with the same respect that they treat him. But if the Emperor finds out about this, he knows what will happen, so he chooses to disobey orders. That's where the first trouble begins. What is he thinking, and what he's thinking? Can he even go in to see her? When he was little, they slept together every day. But now he shouldn't think about that. He just says hello, can he go in? When he came in, he saw Jay sleeping and sat next to her on the bed. As soon as he wanted to tell her he loved her, the girl woke up and asked him what he wanted to say, what he was doing here. Let him forgive him. She got it all wrong. What was he apologizing for? Didn't he have something to say? Nothing like that. Let him apologize for waking her up, wishing her good night. He's insane. Why the hell did he even come into her room? He needs to calm down. Why does he need to calm down? He's weird. Why is she awake? Is he hiding something from her? It's not like that. Then maybe they can sleep together holding hands. Does he agree let Sweetie sleep? What is going on with him? At the last meeting, he said she has the same power as him. Disrespecting her means disrespecting him. If he said something like that, how amazing this Earth guest must be. He's not busy right now. The Duke gave him orders to escort the guest. He's now responsible for the safety of Mrs. J's Earth guest. He's always killed people. Not escorting someone. The Duke trusts him. That's why he asked for this. The payment will be 20,000. A generous offer. I'll have to escort the guest, even though he's uncomfortable with women. What time is it? He fell asleep so easily. It's the first time he's slept soundly in 7 years. He's had nightmares every day since he broke up with Jay. But with her back, even his mother's ghost that tormented him during the day is gone. Unless something's wrong. What time is it? He overslept. He forgot something. His sword. He wishes they could have breakfast together. He wants to have dinner with her. Today, of course, he has nothing to worry about. They're like newlyweds. You can't fill your head with such things. She's so good with the gentleman, just like newlyweds. She apologizes, but since when is she standing there? It's a pity they can't have breakfast together. The Lord told her to see the castle today. She's prepared warm clothes. It looks very warm. Let her let me know when she is ready. She looks just like the Duke's bride. They'll accompany her today. His name is Roberto and his is Michael. She can walk by herself. It's the Duke's orders. It's a long way. It takes 20 minutes to get to the bathroom. Isn't that her shadow down there? She has to pull herself together. Someone's standing behind her. It's scary. But still, it just seemed, whatever it was, she'd better go. In the middle of the night, she felt something strange. If you think about it, this place was built several millennia ago, and it's amazing that some strange things happen. It's the Duchess of Allied. Maybe it's a ghost, by the way. There was a rumor. What's another rumor? It was a real ghost. They say the castle is haunted by an evil spirit who appears to people as a shadow. The evil spirit enters a person's shadow, inhabits it, and uses it as its own shell, and then disappears. After using one body, it escapes and wanders off again to find another host if it meets a ghost, especially at night. Let her never look him in the eye. That's how. Suddenly remembered what the woman told her. Are there any other escorts besides them? They are the best of the knights. No one can compare to them. She may not be comfortable with them, but they know every corner of this castle, and everyone knows them. That's why they were ordered to accompany her. Why he's so serious? She only asked if the guy was apologizing. He's not cute at all. But if Mistress J is in danger, she can always call them. She can overcome it all by herself. Mistress is so cute. This is the castle's greenhouse. It's so pretty and the scent is quite pleasant. Does the flower suit him? It's just beautiful. Very nice, then he'll give her a flower. Now Roberta will get one too. Great! She's made up her mind. She'll defeat the shadow ghost. Land girl, he's working anyway, and she'll help make the place safer. She, Ghostbuster, will protect Land girl and his castle. Studies have shown that shadow ghosts like dark places. She'll hide in the dark and wait. I'm sure the salt will scare the ghost away. There's the shadow ghost. Now he's gonna get it. Let him savor the taste of salt. Nasty ghost, what's she doing here? Is that salt? What's wrong? What's the matter? What's this all about? It looks like Mrs. J mistook him for a ghost. Nothing bad happened. Not yet. He's glad everything's okay. But he has a strange look on his face. Isn't Jay ashamed? She didn't know it was a man. He'll explain it to her later. The Duke looks nervous. Maybe he should have been more careful. Suddenly, the girl who attacked Gray ran up to them. That power is Cassandra. She thought it was just the Northern Knights, but there's a girl, shaking in fear of a ghost walking this estate. That's why he's an eyesore for the Emperor. She's not afraid of a ghost. It's a misunderstanding. The Emperor has decreed that a stranger named Jay be taken away. Who's going to take her away? They've heard rumors of a stranger from the Earth. They also say she's the Duke's fiancée. He's been busy with affairs of state as emperor lately, so he probably doesn't know. They're discussing a foreign girl who recently visited the Duke's castle in the north. She's supposed to be his wife. What a fool! He recommended the princess for marriage. His plans may go awry. He must get rid of the foreigner and set him up with the princess. The question is how. Eastern region, a princess of the first rank. See, she has come so quickly. She is about marriage to the Duke of Landgale. Doesn't think it's a good idea to do so. She has no right to do so. She's not worried about the rumors. Don't worry. Everything will be fine, just as he promised. This marriage is also important to Landgirl's younger brother. It's not because of rumors. Even if she's unmarried, she can live alone. A princess can't live alone. She said she's going to rebuild the eastern province, but if she lives alone, she'll be considered an exiled princess. Is that what she wants? And what will they say about her family members left behind in other countries? He's right. Let him think it over. We must get rid of this stranger while it's still possible to realize what she's up to. He'll go first. He has unfinished business. She showed up. Didn't miss her. Disgusting. Let him keep his hands off her. What a hussy. Let her bring him someone. It's the stranger of the land who came to see the Duke of Landgale. But don't let her hurt her. If anything happens to her now, his plans are in jeopardy. But as Landgirl's honorable enemy, she can at least scratch her a little. Can't just take her with him. She'll try. Strong guys. Can't handle the Emperor's decree. She's taking a stranger named Jay. Whatever the Emperor has in mind will be fun. What the hell is going on here? Boring. We gotta get out of here. She's taking that girl. She's not going anywhere if the Emperor has business with her. Let him come here himself. What a racket they're making. If she moves, he'll kill her. Let him see what he's done to her pretty face. All right, we gotta fix this now. He's a twofer. He's out of his mind. Don't let him move. Lightning attribute magic. She lives up to her name, Cassandra. This noise is to die for. Is he okay? He won't leave her alone for a second. What's the matter? Cassandra's back. She's got a stranger with her. Should I take him to the reception area? That's when the fun starts. There's already some changes coming from head office. Right, good. It's probably about Jean. So they said it's time to go back. It's time to go back. They'll discuss it over a meal, which means this will be their last meal. He's so happy to be leaving. What's he talking about? Then why is he so chipper? Last supper and all. Why is he saying that? It's not like that at all. Not a bit at all. He's sorry and sad. Let him wait where he's running off to. How could this ever happen? He was wrong. Let him go back to where he went. He's going to freeze. How much snow is there? The day Jin first came to Earth. 3 years ago. Let him forgive him. He was delayed. Kay, right? This is Jin. Nice to meet you. How rude they are. How dare they keep him waiting. At first, he thought he was an ill-mannered rude boy, but then he made a mistake when he got cold. Keiyu covered him with his jacket so he wouldn't be cold, and offered him something to eat. He was just a simple little kid. It's very cold here. They need to go back. Surely his favorite dish has been cold for a long time. He doesn't want to leave. He wants to live his whole life here. He wants to stay with him forever too. Kay told Uncle Jay that since Jin is already here, he can come in. Give them a little more time. They can say goodbye. Make him promise he'll be okay. He's not good at goodbyes. He thinks meeting him was the happiest moment of his life. He's so happy he met him. He taught him to appreciate what he holds dear. It's amazing. He feels the same emotions that Jay and Landgirl felt. The trust between them is so deep. Maybe it's a result of them working together. Looking at these two, it seems as if many more wounded souls have been healed. The stranger is locked in a room at the end of the west hallway. Is she comfortable in such a room? Let him bring her back. He's glad she's okay. Is she uncomfortable here? Didn't she say she was uncomfortable? Let him tell her that again and bring her back. Let her not be so direct. After all, the Duke will come himself to save her. All she needs is to wait here quietly for what he has to say. But doesn't she have her own arms and legs? She can defend herself too. She's not some poor princess who will wait for her prince and can escape from this castle on her own. If she can't get out of this castle by 6 o'clock, she'll go to the ball tomorrow with him. She'll win, and the castle is very big. So he wishes her luck. How's she gonna get out of here? Maybe she can climb down from the window. It's too high. Who's that man standing there? The girl was running away from a boy who tried to chase her, saying he was slow, and her brother explained that she was too fast. Is she trying to play a joke on him again? It's not like that. Let him look over there. Their village. It's on fire. Let him sign this document and they're done. The main resource, the copper mine, is gone. You could say the Juno family is finished, so it's better to become a Rider family in this faction. He lost everything in one fell swoop, except his children. He's asking me to help him somehow. Does he look like a kind man? As for his son, there are not enough troops in the north now, so he plans to enlist him as a knight. He didn't think of his daughter, but wouldn't it be better for her to be a servant? Now let him sign the document. It's true. Will they ever be separated? Will he never see his father and sister again? He doesn't want to part with her like this. They will say goodbye for a while. Suddenly the boy was grabbed and started to take him away. He screamed for them to let him go. He hates them and won't leave. He doesn't want to leave. These memories made the girl cry. She often remembers that time. But who is this girl? Jay said hello to her. The girl asked who she was. This is the first time she sees her. Maybe it's luck. Her name's Jay. She's been kidnapped by the Emperor. She's trying to escape, so how can she tell her? She's not the only one in the castle with any kindness. She's the only one in the castle with a good heart. Much obliged. Could she come up here? The door's locked. Through her carelessness, Jay fell out of the window and started to fall. The girl was scared, saying it was dangerous, but suddenly she stopped from falling and started to float in the air. Is she flying? Maybe it's because of that girl. She should be careful. Of course it's okay. She's like a porcelain doll. As she sees it, she's fine. Don't worry. She's the one who saved her. Just a little magic. She saved her with her magic. It's amazing. It's not that great. Water magic is one of the main ones. Even so, it's amazing. It's useless. It's hard on her at all. Sees that they're having fun. It's a real bummer. Didn't think it would be that easy. She didn't know she couldn't sit in one place for long. What's that stupid concubine doing here? She's leaving. Langale is waiting for her in the castle now. Does she really think he'll run after her? Then she'll deal with her first. Only this time it's serious. Maybe twist her limbs and it's no big deal. By the way, she didn't say her name. Her name is Jay. She's Sara. She needs to get away from here. She's coming for her. After that, Cassandra ran at Jay. Sara did not give up and said the following words. In memory of the holy water, the sea flowing in her soul, the dark dragon sleeping in the blue sea. Let him come to her arms and lend her his power. Water magic is dangerous. Then Cassandra used Thunder Beam, but it was for nothing. Sara used Water Monster Death, and the girl was swallowed by the water. She began to suffocate. Miss Sara is so amazing. She won't kill her. The Khan Empire welcomes His Highness. He brought a letter from the Emperor of Kronos. Something's happened to him. Prince Jin of the Alabasta Empire is on the continent of Khan. It's been so long since they've seen them. They're going to hold an Empire Cronus to create a place for communication and harmony between every corner of the continent. This event is very important to the Empire, so it will be good to see him and what he is doing at that ball. If he wants to, he will send a letter of rejection. Let him wait. Will the Duke of Cronus be there? That's right, the list said he wouldn't be there. He changed his mind. After all, he would be attending that ball. It had been years. It's been a long time since he's seen these hosts. The monster. He's a monster if he doesn't want to die in agony. Let him get rid of that barrier now. He's already said several times he didn't do it. He's already dead. He's trapped. The whole forest belongs to the Emperor, so he's sick. They can't get out. All the knights are scattered around the area too. How will they attack? And why didn't they leave here sooner? Let him answer who put up that barrier. He's not here. The only one who can break the barrier is Sara, the Emperor's servant. He's heard that name somewhere. He told him everything. Let him leave him alone and have mercy on him. Despite his sincerity, he'll kill him instantly without pain. It's all right, she can go, said the Emperor to his maid. Then he closed his eyes and remembered something. The girl asked him if he was listening to her. He said the flowers were very fragrant today. He thought they should stop seeing each other. What did he mean? He promised. He'll get her out of this hell. Only they can't see each other anymore. She can't wait for him forever. That baby, she can't have that monster in her womb. What's all this got to do with it? He ponders aloud. He feels like just a little more and he can free her from this torment. And he looks forward to that moment. He can sense a mixture of desperation and determination in her voice to get rid of whatever is causing her suffering. And if she fails, she is like a bird in a cage. He is the emperor of this continent. She's only a duchess. Don't let him say such sad things. Promises to make her happy. Let him wait. He'll take everything from the Duke just as he took it from him. To remove the barrier, we need to find Sara. Suddenly, Langale is attacked again, but he's quick to deal with his enemy, popping up like rats from the corners. They've decided to attack all together. He must deal with them. Let Jay take care of himself. She had helped him out of the darkness. He would take care of her too. This is the end, she said, feeling the strength leave her body. But what is it? She decides that enough is enough and that she can stop. Are you okay, Cassandra? She asks, turning to one of the girls. Suddenly, clapping sounds in the silence, causing everyone to turn their eyes towards the source of the sound. It was the Emperor saying that it was a princess, after all. He knew her magic was strong, but he can't help but marvel at it. Even the target he had bet on is defeated. He was amazed to find that she was so stupid, and it made him somewhat irritated. Instead of discussing or clarifying the situation, he chose to order rather than ask. His voice sounded stern, as if the demand was non-negotiable. He was certain that she was obligated to appear at this ball and left no room for options. Determination and authority resounded in his manner, and he expected her to follow his instructions. He was stunned that she appeared so foolish. Bewilderment flashed in his eyes as he realized that the conversation was not on the level he had hoped for. Wasting no time with unnecessary questions, he doesn't hide his irritation and orders rather than suggests. His voice is stern, and his words sound like a clear directive. She must attend this ball. The Emperor hypnotized. She fainted. Sara was very afraid for her. Didn't he say he ascended to the throne for a reason? It's because of this convenient ability that he's where he belongs. Have the guards take Princess Sara, he said firmly, realizing he couldn't let this happen. She realized that Jay had to be safe in order to save her. He gave the order to the guards to get the princess into custody. The barrier has been lifted. It's thanks to Sara, and now they urgently need to move towards the Emperor's castle. He turns to Jay, asking her to be all right, assuring her that he is already there, ready to accompany them on this important journey. Why is she the only survivor? She pondered, feeling the weight of the past in the matter. However, she was told by the boy not to dwell on the past. He added cryptically, motioning for her to follow him. He will show her something. Sounded in his words like a foreshadowing of mystery and discovery. It's so exciting, isn't it? You can hear the joy in his speech. He's pleased that their country can afford more lavish banquets. Plus, it'd be nice to see that guy's face after a long time. She must be saved, he whispered, looking around with a sullen expression. The seal with the suppression magic wouldn't come off, and the question, why she was so helpless, swirled around in his mind, filling his heart with worry and determination to do something about it. Entering the room, he politely asks if she needs help and expresses interest in why she is here. Emphasizing her independence, he tells her to let him know if there is something she would rather do alone. Finally, he displeases that the Emperor is so unlucky, making a hint of some of the difficulties he seems to be facing. He thanks her, revealing a smile of gratitude for the attention and care she has provided. He sincerely expresses his hope that she will have a fun time, adding some words of encouragement and wishes for a good day. Then apologetically informs her that the entrance is in a different direction to where he is going, and bids her farewell with good wishes for a pleasant day. Where they are going, she knows that the day he will never forget. How could she forget him? It was their first meeting. Can she be happy? Happy can be anyone, and she knows it better than anyone else. Finally, she woke up. Her gaze remained fixed on the stained glass windows, affectionately illuminating the room. He asked the maid to replace her clothes, and soon there was a light banging of the front door in the room. The new outfit he had managed to pick out perfectly emphasized her charm and added even more sophistication to her unique appearance. She's waiting. Hypnosis works well, so they can go. I can't believe Mrs. Cassandra already has a partner. He wanted to invite Mrs. Sara. "Let them meet the Crown Prince of the Kronos Empire, Mr. Kraus," said the announcer, focusing on the important point. Along with his companion Jay, he added, emphasizing the presence of the prince's companion. The atmosphere was filled with anticipation, and all eyes turned towards the entrance, where the momentous occasion was to be met. Guests from the other world. He must concentrate on saving Jay. The Emperor is busy, so he won't be able to greet him personally. He has to get Jay out before the big announcements start. Apologizing, Jean apologized with a slight perplexity in his eyes, bringing his speech to order. He touched the slippery parquet in the hall, adding, "The parquet here is indeed very slippery, so it can be difficult to handle sometimes." Let him apologize for what happened. At the same time, he reminded that he was just one of the servants, but his words also expressed his desire to avoid unnecessary noise and disturbance. "What the hell is this?" Jin thought as he watched him being roughly grabbed and dragged across the floor. He couldn't help but notice the roughness in his actions, as if the man hadn't seen him in a long time. Perhaps the sudden actions made him perplexed and uneasy. Noticed that he had such welcoming ceremonies, but he could not understand what was going on in the local servant's soul. While the others might see it as merely a display of grandeur, he realized that such spectacles were not always ethical or beautiful. He felt that sometimes it was important to maintain decorum and respect for others, even in the most solemn of moments. Considering that it had been a long time since they had seen each other, and the moment their gazes crossed again, he felt excitement and some uncertainty. However, despite the long absence of communication, he felt that now, at this time and place, was not the time for formality. There was tension and anticipation in the air, as if it were a harbinger of something important and urgent. "He's that cocky Landgale," Sara whispered, meeting the familiar man's gaze. Questions surfaced in her mosaic of memories. What had happened during Jay's absence? Why the Emperor and Jay were together? The mysterious circumstances are perplexing and disturbing. Jay is supposed to be with him. Jay was kidnapped by the Emperor. She was kidnapped and he ran to rescue her. That's right, and he's in the way of the rescue. How is he going to rescue her? He doesn't like it, but he has to help him. This is really gonna work. Let her relax. Why is she so tense? She thinks careful with him can't hurt, so we need to be more careful from now on. She was waiting for her to say it. It's about her. She's different. That's why she gets upset by other people's words. That's what she's about, so let her be honest with herself. So, what's her plan? First, she'll use her powers. Use the magic on the Emperor's sealing bracelet. She doesn't have a partner, so she'll keep him company in the dance. Isn't that His Highness Jin? Questioned Sara, looking at the handsome man standing in front of her. A prince of the Empire, a real beauty, she added, trying to remember where she had heard that name before. A trace of surprise and conjecture was evident in her gaze. After all, what was this puppy from the Khan Empire up to? Why does she have such an upset face? Today's banquet is organized for her sake. What kind of document is this? The boy asked indignantly, his eyes fixed on the paper in his hands. A marriage license. But he suddenly stopped, as if realizing something important. Wait, if that happens, what will happen to that girl? The Emperor is that sly fox, he added, expressing alarm at the possible consequences for the other girl. There is no guest of honor here. When Mr. Landgale gives the signal, they will come right in. All are welcome. He invited them to announce the important news. As they know, he's looking for a good match for Sara. He's at the age to consider marriage, and he has found someone who can lead their empire to abundance and prosperity. This man is none other than... Let him wait. Why they're fleeing, let him tell her, please. She seems such a bore. They're leaving at Landgall's request. He asked me to arrange for her safe passage out of this castle. Why on earth did her heart race as soon as she heard that name? Perhaps that name contained something about her past, or evoked strong emotional reactions. How strange. Something about this environment seemed familiar to her. Tears flow incessantly, and she can't hold back her emotions. It feels like she's crying. Have him take her back to where Landgirl is, as she is clearly asking for his help and support in this difficult moment. He has gathered them in this special place to announce the engagement of Lady Sara and Duke Landgale. There is joyous excitement in the air, and now it is time to celebrate this magnificent event. Perhaps there will be festivities, banquets, and merriment to emphasize the importance of this momentous moment in their lives. In the northern islands of the Kronos Empire, the ruler, Duke Ludwig, is greeted with warm welcomes. Perhaps the welcoming ceremony is grand and lavish, emphasizing the importance of the Duke's visit and strengthening the ties between these realms. In front of this greeter, Langel's gaze looks menacing, but now that they are preparing to celebrate this joyous day, one wonders how this powerful man intends to celebrate. Let him accept congratulations and savor the moment. Perhaps he or she has an elaborate plan for this important event, and here he or she will begin counting down from 5 to 1 to begin this special moment. 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1. We need to get to cover now. Tension is palpable when the question of what he is going to do hangs in the air. He can't avoid a confrontation and has to express where Jay is. At this point, he realizes he is in a position of desperation, with no room for evasion or dodging. The call for Jay's immediate release becomes an urgent demand, and the looks and expectations of those around him create an atmosphere saturated with tension and uncertainty. All this commotion over some girl. Let Sara deal with him now. She is no longer his puppet. What is she saying? Without him, she's a good-for-nothing girl. Hasn't she forgotten that he can control her through the seal? He just seems pathetic, relying on Sara's power until the very end. This is probably his payment for making a fool of her, and it becomes a symbol of their relationship and what it all means. She no longer agrees to be a toy in his hands. She is now elevated and has taken her place as the first empress of the Eastern Isle of Sara. Her new position gives her strength and authority, and she is now ready to take her destiny into her own hands, refusing to be controlled by anyone. Now, with a strong inner transformation, she resolutely refuses the idea of hiding and running away. Her changes have become noticeable, and she now appears to him as a new, strong Sara, not at all like the one he knew before. There is a new confidence and determination in her eyes and in her actions. Are precious memories of her uncle? Is she really going to marry him? This may be sparking interest, and people are wondering what he does, where he is from, what his family is like. Some may even think he's her dad, given the possible differences in age or appearance. All of these questions and misunderstandings can create additional exciting context. After the parents are gone, he has the responsibility to fulfill the role of her guardian. This incredible responsibility causes him to spend sleepless nights filled with anxiety and worry. In these moments of deep reflection, he realizes the importance of his role and bears the weight of caring, which makes every moment a real challenge for him. Let him not be anxious. He is, after all, a really good man. Anyway, they are going to meet at a cafe, but it seems he may have doubts about this marriage and may never approve of the union. Glad to meet him. Turns out his name is Mr. Wonsock, but I wonder what he does for a living. Surprisingly, he's unemployed. And what makes him so happy? Apologizes. If he's unemployed, how is he going to provide for his family? It's okay. She'll provide for him. Then he'll take care of their children. Counts on him. The husband will do the housework. While the wife is hunched over at work, he has thought about how this decision will affect the child. His belief is that there should be a mom around the children. He believes that children are much more intelligent than they appear, and believes that the presence of a mother plays a key role in their upbringing and development. Therefore, children seeing their parents glowing with happiness instantly understand everything. Every second, parents are eager to share their joy and show their children how happy they are. This light of happiness they experience becomes an inspiration and model for children, creating a special atmosphere of love and joy in the family. It is important to create a positive environment for the child so that he himself can be happy. Developing him in a positive atmosphere and providing him with support is the best care that parents can provide. This will provide the child with a favorable environment to grow, make him feel safe and loved, which is the foundation for his happiness and successful development. He not only agrees with his future wife, he values her opinions, shares her values, and respects her as a person. There is a special harmony between them, as if they were made for each other. Her presence makes him happy, and she seems to glow with inner joy and love. It's a terrible injustice that he couldn't see her at once because he was away. Let him see it. It's so beautiful. It's crazy what they called her. At the moment, they don't have a specific name for her yet. Interestingly, they haven't even thought of a name for their new find. By the way, one of them decided to find out if this object wanted a name from them. Turns out, he asked if this mysterious entity was willing to accept a name, and this is what it turns out. It agrees to the name J.